Hello there. Well, I'm doing something pretty unusual today. I'm actually playing EVE Online. I haven't played that game in years. And the thing is, right now, EVE is turning 20 years old, and that's pretty impressive in my opinion. I mean, there aren't many MMOs around that are that old. I mean, of course, there's Ultima Online and some others. But yeah, I mean, considering how difficult EVE can be and how complicated it is. Some people, you know, there's that old joke about EVE being a spreadsheet simulator, which I find kind of silly. I understand where that comes from, because the game can be very confusing at first. So I understand that very well, that people feel that way. But, you know, there's so much excitement to be had, especially if you can find others to play with. I remember so many cool adventures, like escorting and patrolling certain areas, some fights and stuff like that. I've never been in the really big battles, unfortunately. But yeah, there's so much stuff that you can do in this game, actually. And also, there were all these stories about these gigantic battles with thousands and thousands of players, or, you know, like these amazing, you know, ploys where someone snuck his way into a corporation and eventually, you know, stole all the money and all the assets and destroyed the corporation after months of, you know, preparing that. So what I would like to do today, something I haven't done in quite some time, I'm gonna do some abyssal deadspace. That's PvE content. Most people think of EVE as a PvP game, and of course it mostly is, and I think most fun can be had there and most stuff can be done that way. But there's also some, you see, there's also some, PvP, PvE content, like the abyssal deadspace. I now have, let me see, let me set a different range. I wonder where that range isn't set. I've got 20 minutes now to take out these enemies, and that shouldn't be that much of a problem. So let's get started. I'm also gonna use my drones. It's really been a while, but still, I think it's a lot of fun. Alrighty. I gotta check my keybinds real quick, I think. Shortcuts. Let's see, drones. Engage. F. And okay, so let the drones do this one. So I'm gonna have my drones attack the cache, and I'm gonna get close to that cache because I'm gonna loot what's in there while we're gonna take care of this enemy. So yeah, this is all PvE. These enemies are, of course, NPCs. Man, so many memories coming back when I see these graphics. So let's approach that cache and see what's in there. Oh, let me see my shortcuts again. Okay. And think they're back now. Yeah, they returned. Let me resize those windows because I can. It shows that I haven't played this game in a while. And I love that graphic. It looks really, really cool still. So let me turn off the afterburner. Turn around and approach and see what's in there. So as you can see, I've got 16 minutes, 16 and a half minutes. If I'm not out of here in 16 and a half minutes, the whole thing will kind of collapse and I'll be dead, losing my ship, which would suck. And as you can see, using mostly missiles, I also have some drones which will fight for me. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna loot this stuff. It's another filament, some survey data, and some materials. And I am now gonna approach the gate and jump to the next part of this instance, I guess what you want to call it. Can also see there are like some activities because it's a 20th anniversary, so there's lots of stuff you can do. And it's quite fascinating to be back in this game, I have to say. I love the graphics and it feels good to be back. I forgot a couple of things and like I have to really focus to remember how to do stuff, but then again a lot of it is second nature. So let's see. Let's jump to the next one. Okay, so let us approach this one. It's targeted already. Let's also target the cache. Think there will be more enemies coming in. My drones are already on the way to that guy. Got quite some range now. And let me also shoot at it with some missiles. Yeah, that's that. Could also try to loot the ship, but let's focus on the cache for now. This is the easiest of the deadspace filaments. You can do harder ones with more enemies, tougher enemies and stuff. So, you know, just wanted to give it a little spin and see how it works. Look at that. There's so much stuff that's coming back to me now. So many memories. I had a lot of fun with this game. Like exploring and being part of a corporation, fighting other corporations, and you know, hours and hours of mining. Trying to build new equipment and stuff like that. Fun. I played other games more than this one, but I got a couple of 100 hours in here. Maybe a couple of thousands, I don't quite know, because I'm still now using the Steam client. Gotta check how many hours I put in there. But also this is my second account. Unfortunately lost the first one. So yeah, lots of memories. I shot the cache. Now I'm gonna approach it to see what cargo is in there. I'm also gonna recall the drones. And they're back now. It's pretty cool. Looking pretty damn cool for a 20-year-old game, man. And there is one more instance, one more phase I have to go through. But I have 12 and a half minutes left almost. So that shouldn't be a big problem. Let's loot this and let us approach the gate. and jump to the next one. And also should reload. Don't remember, can I reload while I jump? These instances, I'm not quite sure. I'll see. This looks really awesome, man. So yeah, it's fun to take a look. I mean, I don't have any desire to play the game again, because it would... I'm busy with so many other games and I've hardly got enough time to play them. And so going back to Eve, that would really be a challenge. So but it's fun to come back for once and check it out and see how it goes. Haven't followed all the stuff that's going on in the universe, you know, what factions are fighting right now, how people feel about the current state of the game, many changes. I think the last thing I really tried is this kind of stuff with the abyssal deadspace. So let's see. Yeah. Actually, it was kind of silly to even launch the drones. They're not really necessary. I can take out all this stuff just with missiles. It's not hard. This is the easiest abyssal deadspace filament. So it's like the lowest level of these kind of instances I can do. But it's been a while since I did that, so just to be sure, I launch the drones. I use the afterburner for a sec. And let's start shooting. There we go. And now let's start looting. I don't know whether it's just nostalgia, but I think this looks really nice. I mean, Everspace 2 of course looks better, but it's a more current game. But I love the atmosphere of this. By the way, I have something I would like to recommend. It's a series of books. I think there are 2 so far. They're called Empires of Eve. And in there, the author described all the big conflicts in the world of Eve from the very early years. And he does so in a very interesting, very captivating way. He starts by talking about a big battle by a Russian corporation, which held a space station, like a very, you know, one in a very desolate part of space. And then they were invaded by a huge group of enemies, and that little group of Russian pilots, they actually managed to defend their station for several hours. They all used the same kind of ship with the same loadout, and they actually managed to hold back that invasion. And that's the first part that's described, and then they go through all the big drama, all the big wars that were going on in Eve, talking about like a lot of the big factions that used to be around. So that's a really, really interesting read. As I said, I think there are 2 of them out there. 2 of these books. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, definitely make sure to read that. And I am gonna head back to my station, and maybe you wanna keep watching for a few more minutes. So check out the Empires of Eve. And that would be a good introduction in why this game still is fascinating to so many people. All the legendary big battles going on. And yeah, I think it still has its charm and still is kind of fascinating, even after all these years. So right now, if you've never played the game, I was kind of cloaked there to make sure I couldn't be attacked right after jumping. I am in safe space here anyway. That's why I retired my pilot. And I'm heading back to my home station there. Brings back a lot of memories of that, like adventures in old space, like the space where there are no guards, if you want to call it that way, and being there with my corporation. We were like doing escorts together in little squads, looking for enemies and, you know, invaders, and it was always that, you know, that kick to it. It was really exciting always. And sometimes I miss those days, but once again, I don't think I would be going back to the game, because it's such a time invest sometimes, and there are so many other games I'd like to play. So yeah, happy birthday, old lady, still looking great. And you know, maybe I will put in an hour or two something with some more stuff. Maybe doing a bit more of the PvE content, maybe trying to look for some of the suggested stuff, like there's that agency stuff that is supposed to help you get into the game, because it's really complicated first to get into the game, you know, regarding loadouts and equipment and earning money and stuff. I'll take a look, but I guess my really busy eat days are over. But it was fun to look back at it, to give it a little visit. Happy birthday, Eve Online. Thanks for all the great times back then. And yeah, here's to another 100 years of Eve. And thank you for watching. And if you're into Eve, well, hope you're enjoying it. Fly safe out there. See you out there, and bye-bye.